Alright, is this thing working? This is virtual co-working. I'm working on JavaScript stuff. I don't feel like working, so I figure I might as well work in a virtual sharing environment such as this. Specifically working on this JavaScript project for some educational research. The idea is to, the overall goal of the project is to enable the researchers to test an idea with what they're calling is I think it's embodied gestures. The idea is, so if you're a kid moving around in this educational workspace, in which these cameras are tracking where you are and stuff. Right now, the system did not previously support the ability to recognize gestures. So what we want to see is whether or not, like, adding that support. So if a kid goes like this to signal something to the system, whether or not that increases the engagement of the student with the course material. In this case, learning about states of matter or how honeybees work. This is for fairly young kids. One of the interesting things about this research project is usually you don't teach science to kids this young. So I'm not doing it in the research, I'm just writing the support software for it as part of a contractor for my friend Ben's company in California. We've been working on this for about 3 years now. But let's take a look at what we've got. First I need to remember what the hell I was doing. I'm just coming off of about a 2 or 3 week vacation, so I have forgotten how to be productive. I guess the first thing is to open up this screen. Let me switch projects here. Play. Let me expand that. That's in the right place. I need to pull up. I'm updating a bunch of stuff here too. Probably should pause this. This is probably killing my upstream. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's okay. Looks like it's working. So we've got this. I don't need this browser window right now. Let me minimize this. We also need to pull up source tree, which is the GUI for GitHub that I'm using. I'm not using GitHub desktop because I don't like the way it represents Git operations. I might as well fetch and see what's new in our centralized repo. Oh good, looks like we have a bunch of stuff that's been merged. And a bunch of things to pull. This should be our most recent branch. Just pull the sucker down. I don't think I have everything out. Quite a few commits. Ben's just coming off of vacation too, so. This is new? Oh, this was the, this is a change that was applied to the wrong branch. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I didn't know you could do this. So you can fetch. No. You can pull. Can I pull directly from here? If I do a pull, can I select the branch? It won't merge it, will it? I want to pull div. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. It's going to pull this into div I step. So I guess I got to switch to it and then pull it. Oh, what's this? Really? What are my current working changes? What is this? These are not really. These are white space changes, I think. I don't know what this is. No, that's. These I think I can just discard. I'm not sure why that is screwing this up. Oh, it's probably because modules main. Maps main JSX. Oh, it's because they'd be erased? Something's weird, goofy upstream. Let's see what's going on. Alright. I'm gonna check my GitHub repo here. Let's see, what happened in dev? These are all just changes to the README. So we can preview this? It's like, well, let me switch it because it's going to say I'm going to overwrite these changes. None of those changes are particularly interesting, though. There's a way I can compare it, can't I? Diff against current, diff against... Does this actually do what I think it does? You can see a whole bunch of stuff deleted. I'm guessing that the main JSX file is one of the ones that... I'm going to show what I just did there. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Let me go to file status, and I'm just going to commit this to some branch. Right now I'm in dev istep. I don't think any of these are still active. These are all merged now. Okay. Oops, the deleting branch has been merged too, but not yet merged ahead. I think I need this. It's not. Okay, it's already been deleted. This was, I know it was just merged into dev istep. So we haven't lost anything there. I don't know if that's still valid. This is not even my branch. I just delete it locally. Alright, so now I wanted to branch into stuff. I think the first thing I might do is just do some cleanup. The dev ds cleanup. Cat, you're being annoying. Oh, you gotta sit right there. So what am I doing here? Dev ds. The next bit of stuff I'm doing is video server integration. Integrate idserve. So I have these modified files. I suppose I can just add it here. These are white space fixes. What did happen here? Dev ds integrate vidserve white space fixes. All right. So now that that's committed, I can just go back to dev and see what's going on here. I think these were accidental changes. These are all just to read me. Let me just pull it. Bring up this tracking branch up to date. So now let's go back to that. Oh, I forgot to start my time clock. Let me do this over here. Yeah, you're in the way. When did I start this? I started this 10 minutes ago. Let me make a note here. The last time I did work on this project was July 5th, it looked like. Today is July 15? 16. It's been like 11 days. Nope, it's the 17th. 12 days since I worked on this. Actually, I feel fairly rested. Just updating my timesheet over here. You can see, let's say this 6:24, let's say I started this at 6:15. 8:15 start. So that's about 10 minutes ago. That's about right. Start video serve, vidserv integration. All right. What are we doing next? Video server integration. Am I in the right branch? Yes. Let's close a bunch of these things so we can start from scratch. Whoa! Are you good at walking? Oh, sorry, sweetie. That was awkward. Alright, I'll use you as a focusing tool. Cat! Oh, mighty cat. Oh, wise cat. What should I do next? Oh, is it boring video? That's what I'm doing next. Boring video it is. What does boring video entail? Let me look at that Trello board over here in the other monitor. So we're tracking our project to-dos and priorities in Trello. Tried a bunch of other tools like, what was it, Pivot Tracker? I forget the name of it. Pivot Tracker seemed cool though. The other tracker seemed kind of heavyweight. These agile tools for tracking what to do, but it turns out Trello seems to be working fine for us, for our small team. So video recording and playback by August. Mid-August to deploy that. So I've got a couple weeks to do this. I'm going to think that this next phase is actually just moving the video server into our own code base. And then after that, what does that entail? So let me switch cameras here. All right, so, oh, hey cat. Zoop. That's a cat story. Cat, that's your butt is on YouTube. All right. Moving the video server into the code base. This means just taking the existing code, modularizing it, documenting it, and putting it in someplace. However, this code base has its own web server, its own set of HTML producer code. So basically it's a WebRTC signaling system that's based on, how would you describe it? it has some HTML, it has like basically some single page web apps that talk to a signaling server. So it has two servers. The signaling server is, let's take a look at it. Let's see, the signaling is, let's go back to screen, and let's go back over to here. Let's go to terminal, and let's cd dev, cd comhall webrtc. Right, how did this run again? They're running a Python simple server, and all it does is serve files out of here. So the web server, let's run the Python, probably still have it. So that's all it does. And then there's also a node server, and I believe we just run it with node. Where's the server? Index.js, and then the signaling port. It's not clear that's what that is though. So we're running these things now. Now that we're running this, we should be able to run the video server. And so if I go to what, localhost 8000, which is where the, I think according to this, it's listed on 8000. And this is serving files out of here. So the two things, there's this producer, which is not reading about my webcam. Does this just kill my OBS setup though? Oh no, this is using the this camera. That's funny. Now the thing with this program is that it has So this is something I need to clean up. So there's a producer, and what the producer does is it has this script, which I need to modularize. I think I can just serve this as one of our regular web apps. But it needs to be running locally on the machine that's on the separate video server. Okay. All right, so back to our design. So we have the game machine here. This is the game. Why is this like so? Okay. This is the game system, and then we have the video server. The vid server has its own webcam, and is that right? Does the video server have the webcam? Yes, it has to. The webcam has to launch a web page, which is producer, I think. The producer talks to webcam, and then inside of here there's the signaling server. And then consumers, we have a test consumer. This is, it can receive WebRTC. But we also have a second feature, which is the ability to save. So producer does two things, I think. It can produce the WebRTC stream, and it can also save encoded video to server. The odd thing is the server actually can't do the encoding. So it's relying on producer to do that. So really there's two functions of the video server. And three, serve HTML and serves HTML and MP3 files or MP4 files. Okay, so I guess the next step would be to fire up the video server, see where that goes. All right. Let's see. So what I need to do then is I have this Macintosh over there set up. Which monitor do I have it plugged into? I guess we'll find out. How do I turn this thing on again? I think I have it just plugged in over here. Oops. This is on HDMI input 2. I think HDMI input 1 is what I have the setup as. No? Okay, it's booting. This is the cheapest, the second cheapest, or I guess the middle iMac, which is like, I think it's over like 2.5 years old. Super, super slow. But that's going to be our video server. And I think on this side of things, I need to set up the display so it is no longer writing to this display. How do I turn this off? Don't extend. Show only in one. Okay. So now I have my 3 monitors, 3 machines. This is a PC running over here. This is my Macintosh running over here. And then way over here, that's the Mac Mini, and that's running stuff. So I guess I need to set this thing up with, I need to get, I guess, source tree run. Oh, I do have source tree running on this. So I guess for fun, I could also do this. Let's run, do I have NDI available for it? Let me see if I have it over here. NDI. I think I have NDI tools somewhere. Where did I download NDI tools? Is it in my downloads? Where's my downloads? So you have to click over here. Somewhere in here I think there's like an NDI toolset. Maybe not. Surprise. NDI tools for Mac. Third party and a free NDI tools. Should have done that over here. It does look like so what NDI is, it's a video. It's a, how do you describe it? It's a video over Ethernet standard that allows you to send a video signal over Ethernet from one computer to the other, as opposed to using wires and stuff. So it's really useful when you're doing stuff like shipping data, or you want to send like one video stream to another computer. So I'm looking for, I want to set it over here, because it's good for sharing stuff. NDI monitor. How do I download this? davidsay.com. This doesn't gonna get an email. Great. I'll do it over on this monitor here so we can do it privately. No, so you need to see my email. I don't see anything. This is marketing collection. Surprised it didn't save anywhere. Look, I probably already have it here. No, I don't. 58 megabytes. It's gonna take a while to download. It's very slow. Now I need to have a way of getting it over on the Macintosh, though. Cancel this. So now I'm downloading it over on the other machine. Actually, I should download it here too. Just to have that someplace. Summary of benefits. It's probably a health thing. So while that's going on, let's see, what are we doing now? Now I should figure out what the architecture is for this. Let me make some notes. Oh, someone says in the chat room, "Hey Dave, even if you don't have a huge following in chat, just wanted to say your videos offer a ton of value and your voice makes me swoon. Hope all's well, keep on doing you." That's super nice. That's super nice, Zach. Thanks. Yeah. So let's see, what are we doing now? Here we are in, oops, wrong one. Let me make some notes here. Look at today's stuff. There's a bunch of questions. That's a note that I should probably keep someplace. Some of this stuff, some of these notes are obsolete. Let me just move these down here. Oops. And Let's see. So what I want to do is like take these notes and convert this into a strategy. So I guess the question is, how do I integrate ComHaul WebRTC into our code base? Answer, well, what are the system components? The components. And where will they fit? Well, the components are, there's the web server, serves files. This serves saved video files, and it also serves the producer web app. So I wonder if I could just make that a headless app. We already have a consumer. Consumer can actually run on our side. Producer, an HTML file that needs to run on the web server with webcam. The video server test specifications. Saves webcam for a WebRTC broadcast. Ethernet or high-speed Ethernet, high-speed internet. We have also so what they're calling the signaling. Vid server, I'm going to call it Node.js server that handles connections between producer and consumer. They call this the signaling server on one of a port. Though we also have consumer. This is an HTML file that can be used to test producer. Vid server, a Node app that handles both several functions. From what I understand, it handles WebRTC signaling, handshaking. I think it does. And it also, for live WebRTC, or actually this is not WebRTC, connections, helpers for WebRTC is peer-to-peer. It also handles has a command sock port on socket. I don't know what socket it is, to control something. This is what I had to look into. It also actually implements several commands related to WebRTC, handshaking, and it also implements socket-based commands. Related, or it's not for, more direct way of saying that. Socket-based commands for saving encoded video chunks. Reducer to a file. So this is a Node app that needs to be executed separately. So the key thing, we want vid server to be a standalone Node server. Or does it need to be? Or can we just ungulp and allow the video server to just exist? Functions to be available in the same executable. That's an interesting idea. How can we do that? Right now, we do a gulp. I guess we could add a new command like gulp. Serve video. Video serve. This could run a gulp vid serve command. Invoke video server stuff. And Mac just fell asleep. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Uh-oh. It's not waking up. Why isn't it waking up? That's annoying. While you fall asleep, Mac. It's asleep. How do I wake it up? It's not obeying any signals now. It's super annoying. Unfortunately. Oh, there we go. I disable sleep on this thing. Looks like I finished downloading NDI tools. How do I disable sleep? Sleep settings. Put hard disk, wait for network access. Enable power nap. I'm not seeing a whole lot of that's weird. How do it prevent computer from sleeping when the display is off? Yes, I will accept the use of more energy. Is that the only setting? Schedule startup, sleep, shutdown, conserve power. That's where I just was. Well, I guess we'll go with that. It did finish downloading at least. Anyway. Gulp vidserve could invoke video server stuff. I like that idea. Hey, sweetie. Bonk, bonk, bonk. All right, where am I now? So according to this, I guess it's time to review some of this code. Let's start by copying it in to my code base. Let's see, that would be in let me just grab it. Common WebRTC. I don't think there's been any changes to it lately. Common WebRTC. Oops, I mean, we're going to put this into play, build, assets. Well, okay, here's a question. Where do these things live? Index WebRTC, or the vid server translation. Or porting. Porting steps. 1. Server index.js. The vid server. Signaling of 2 L's or 1 L. The vid server, signaling server, it has to go over to, it's a node thing that goes into server lib something JS. It's a standalone thing. It's a, update it to have its own Express server instance, so we don't need Python anymore. Comment it, clean it up as necessary. Look for common definitions. Maybe change signaling to use Unisys standard instead of its socket stuff. The same thing we can do was, and then producer, convert producer to our modular web app format. Try to keep, yeah, that's what we will do. How long will this take? I'm gonna guess 3 to 5 days. All right, let's put this in hours. 1, 2. So moving the stuff is probably not going to be a problem. Going through the code, I'm going to guess it's going to be 4 hours per thing. So that's about 8 hours. 8 hours spread over, you know, then there is just maybe doing the Unisys patching in. So that could be another day or 2. So I'm going to guess this is actually going to take 4 calendar days, and about 12 to 16 hours of work. So Thursday, so this is by Friday, I think. What day is Friday? Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What? Hey Siri, wake up.
Good morning. Really? It's 1857. But sure, okay.
Hey Siri. What day of the week is this Friday? Oh, that's not what I want to say.
Friday, the 21st of July, 2017.
21. Alright, so this is my plan, I guess. So step 1. I'm going to write this on here just so I can remember what I'm doing. Step 1 is to copy stuff over. So by putting my steps on a piece of paper, I'll remember what I'm doing. Step 1 Copy files to appropriate places. All right. So what am I going to do? Over here in WebRTC, we've got these libraries. We've got this index file. I want to copy this to, this is a server file. So this needs to go into our, not assets, and server. I'm going to say this might be a lib right now. We have 1401 server, and then we should have video server, I think. Let's put it here for now. This could work as a library. We have the step server, and we have the 1401 server. Step. Let's look at step. Step imports all these things. It starts. Initializes it all separately. Here we should be able to. Who calls this? Step. Start. This is called by 1401 server. What I'm wondering is whether or not to make this part of our existing Node app or to make it its own separate thing. I think what I'm going to do is just put it into, I will make it a library. Step vid server. Step vid serve. All right. Yeah, so now we have vid serve and we have web serve. These should be able to serve out of the same places. All right. So what's next? So we have to also copy the consumer stuff. So we have producer, which is this, and we're going to put this into assets, modules, 1401 games, and we have a few new things here. We need to call this, what, vids? Let's see, vid server, maybe I'll call it vid video. If we're going to use their terminology, I'll call it a video producer. And copy these files in. I'm going to fix that later. And then we want to make video consumer. And copy these in here. Now here's an interesting question. Can we just serve these files? It should just be able to load these. I'm kind of curious now if my loader will actually work with this. So let me remember how this works. So 1401, the 1401 system, oh, this is COM hall. Is this COM hall? No, this is our code. So let's see. No, this is doing using our router, so I need to remember how the router works. So when we're setting up something like tracker, our game run JSX file is what does all the loading stuff. We have this asynchronous loading stuff, which I probably could rewrite using await. So we're loading the React component. Oh, this is the old style one. I need to rewrite this. I'll add that to my to-do list. These are even older. Game run JS. Did these get screwed up? No? There's some style things I need to resolve. Fake track was the one I recently wrote. That's the most newest version of it. So here, this is the cleaner one. We are loading the fake track component out of components fake track, which is local here. This is a React component. It sets up the state. This uses our new UI state manager. No, it does not. No, okay, this is the old one. So we actually want tracker util. Tracker is the new one. This loads a local component called app tracker, which uses our UI state component. And it's simplified, and it loads a tracker control panel as another component. That is a system level component. But this all happens more at the what level? It's not in Fort, it's an app. These are all app shell. Here we go. For to one on loader. So this is the router code. So the router, when it gets initialized with a bunch of props, it's able to pull this, and then it does a master start with this route. This is what loads a 1401 game. And then the 1401 game, which we have here, has to have a main JSX file. Let's just confirm that. Which is this. Oh no, it's not main JSX. I'm in the wrong place. Game run JSX is what's loaded by master. Configure is what loads any of the UI. We don't need any of that. So essentially we need to convert the web app to this, unless there's a plain HTML version that I can run. That suggests, so instead of, we can have a different kind of router then. Wait, this is the 14.1 loader. We should be able to load a, can we? I guess we can convert the index to just a React shell. But it would be nice just to be able to load it. Outside of the router. Can we do that? Yeah, we actually should be able to do that. Okay, so here's an integration question. How do we integrate? Or is there a simple way to integrate producer and consumer HTML without converting them to React? Let's see. We should be able to just load them. As regular served. So our gulp task could just be copying them from the source. So instead of 1401 games, we might have a folder called web apps, modules, 1401. Then we wouldn't have to rewrite anything. And then we just copy that to our public server, which is where, it's strange, I don't see it here. I was in build, I think. No, is it? That's an app storage. Yikes, I gotta clear this thing out. So what is the server? We are able to serve files out of here. Where's the public distribution folder? No, it's not added as a project folder, is it? So it's probably, let me just make sure I know where it is. Build public. We should just be able to put stuff in public. Public, consumer, public. But it would be nice to be able to talk to these with the rest of the system as an option. Because that would be super cool. And we wouldn't need the signaling server then. Oh. Let me make a note of that. However, if we convert producer, consumer into our module format, 1401 React apps, we then unlock the ability to communicate with them directly through Unisys and control them remotely as well. That would be much better. Okay, I guess we're converting it. Okay. So we copied the files to the appropriate places. The next challenge is to convert some of those apps. So let me make a note in our Trello board. So our infrastructure background, link bees, sync with playback, trigger recording from. Yeah, we want to do this through. Why is this called checklist? High level checklist. Let's add another one. This one will be called dev checklist. So the first item is I guess review and convert signaling server to something that can be run as part of our repo. And then the second is convert producer to 1401 React style app with Unisys integration. let's see, review, actually it's the same thing, review, document, and convert producer. And so I should estimate these. Can I do the, I think this is a 4-hour thing. This is another 4 hours, I think. I thought it would show up here. We have 30 units up allocated to this. And 120 for this. Alright. Okay, let me update this. Oh, Mac is falling asleep again. It's asking me for my password. That's lame. Let's disable that. System preferences, password, stick changing password, login name and password, enable, I don't want it to ask me the lock screen again. Lock system preferences, login require password, nope. Yes. Okay. Alright, so I forgot what I was doing. I was checking out the time. Right now it's 7:15. Start video integration, review, work to do. It's 7:15 now. I actually need to feed the cat. I feel like we've gotten started at least. So I will consider these problems solved. We've solved a few problems already. So that's good enough for me to write down in my log, tracking log thing. All right, I feel like we've gotten going. There is a couple more things I want to do related to some other work that's not related to this, but maybe I'll come back to this later. At least I got some momentum going, can report in tomorrow. So this, now I feel a little bit better about starting this. Just takes a little bit of time to get moving on these projects and just tease apart the little things that we have to do. So I'm going to write down over here in our next steps. Next steps. Oops. For Tuesday, start reading and commenting. Oh, well, I guess step 1 would be what is step 1? Get signaling server to run on gulp startup. Then after that is document cleanup. I guess I might document first. Signaling server. Those are 2 interesting problems. Just getting it to run is going to be interesting enough, so I can just do that quickly. Then figuring out what to clean up. I'm going to guess that's going to be like 3 hours for that, and let's say cleaning it up is probably going to take another 3 hours. So that's a little bit more than my initial estimate. But overall, I'm thinking 12 to 16 hours of overall work, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so that's tomorrow's plan. It's time to feed the cat. You excited about that? Old kitty. So that's the plan. going to get that going tomorrow morning, I hope. And now I'm going to work on some other projects that I need to keep moving, just to make sure that I don't get frustrated by not doing them. So thanks for watching. That's been virtual co-working for today. I know it's kind of boring, but if you're working on code, put this on in the background and feel something. I don't know. Have a good night. See you soon.